And we are now entering the 25th hour of global transmission. I'm your host, Alex Jones. I want to just say that the entire InfoWars crew, our guest host, our crew on the ground in Philadelphia covering the DNC have done a spectacular, exemplary, excelsior, amazing, in-depth job, especially the techs and producers with all the documentation, the research, running the cameras, running the microphones, lining up all the guests, doing everything. Amazing job to the entire crew. Just absolutely amazing. We do about, I don't know, 5 hours of broadcast a day out of these studios, and that takes a lot of preparation and focus. And then we also produce a lot of short news pieces and mini documentaries every day. So I'd say probably 7-8 hours of live and also produced content for an operation of really about 20 people working in production, 25 people. So I want to just say congratulations to the crew and also the listeners, especially who've been supporting the broadcast, spreading the word about it, our affiliates around the country. We are having the biggest sale ever in our history. And I've been saying that every few months now because we're just increasing the size of the sales, because the formula I have is just try to have the very best prices on high-quality products, be able to self-fund ourselves, and then to be able to have a smaller profit per item. But people know how to shop out there, not just support us, and they find out it really is a good deal, and then they end up, you know, not buying one, but buying two, buying three, and that it brings in more revenue so that we can get more aggressive and hire more reporters and more writers and more researchers and put Hillary for President banners in the sky across the country and trucks driving around and billboards and just everything else we're doing. And Darren McBreen has a great idea about trying to do a series, you know, like they have on all these different cable channels, because now the internet's so dominant, we would dominate that. And I want to get back into longer form documentary films. It's just that we've been trying to establish the news operation. Wow. If you go to drudgereport.com, there is, again, Hillary, where she does this great white shark attack deal. You know how great whites crest out of the water and they have like their jaws snapping? And I'm not trying to be mean. There's something very psychotic and very predatory about Hillary. Obama can come off charming and, you know, seem like a suave guy, even though, you know, he's creepy because you know what he stands for. But with Hillary, man, she is just, not just her actions, but her and Bill are like something out of the Munsters. But the Munsters are likable. They just look like creepazoids. I was hiking on the Greenbelt this morning, and I came across an old woman, probably her son and his girlfriend or something. And I saw him 100 yards away coming down the path, and I got a creepy feeling. And as I got up close to them, they had super white skin. They were all dressed real weird, and I was just like, oh, devil worshippers. Just absolutely, you know, you click. Wow, these are creepy people. And Pat Riley was with me. And he was just like, ooh, did you feel that? Once people went by, and I was like, yeah, wow, evil. Let me tell you, I've been around Janet Reno. Confronted her once when she spoke at UT from just right in the front aisle at the microphone. And she did this demonic smile and started like snapping her teeth. And reportedly, Hillary's obsessed with her and loves her. I mean, these are demonic creatures. I mean, just go to drudgereport.com. I've got all this news proving they're evil, but just look at this thing where she does this shark. Can you guys show the cover of Jaws when we come back? Because I just thought of this, you know, where the shark's popping out of the water and it has that look. And it's not like they're just screenshotting it. She does this Joker meets the great white shark. Just ha ha. And by the way, we've got Obama saying there's no way, you know, Trump's going to win. Bet on Hillary. Well, because Google, by the way, has been caught, and they won't even change it, not even listing Donald Trump on the internet under presidential candidate. Drudge just changed his main headline, but I still want to blow this up because I want to create a meme showing Hillary Clinton cresting next to the Jaws shark and going after what's left of the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Because if you look at that face, that's the one she makes when she does this hyena laugh. By the way, that was on TBS, and so they removed it and apologized a few days ago. on Monday. So that's why I do want to play that again here in just a moment. Because if you listen to her, I was listening in a restaurant, and it was so annoying, and it wasn't even loud, that people asked me to please turn it off. Then I was listening to it over at my parents' briefly with my son last night, and my mother is usually an irritable person, and she said, what on earth? What is that? Turn it off. So I guess they used to speak of industrial music, Skinny Puppy, to torture folks at Guantanamo Bay. I think we can replace the Skinny Puppy for torture with the hyena. Do we have the hyena queued up? Let's go ahead. Now, this is Hillary in between hyenas, and it's almost the same sound, and it's totally fake. It's a bark. Here it is. And then we will, after we play that, we will continue with the news. By the way, a lot of the crew's been in there like off and on 18 hours. Now, we're going to pull this article up in a moment and talk about what Google's up to. This is emblematic of everything. We know that they've been spiking searches for Hillary for prison. We know they've been spiking searches and redirecting the searches into favorable things about Hillary. If you search Hillary crime, you get her crime bill of in the 1990s, 1994. But they've gone to a level beyond even the BBC and Der Spiegel changing the name of an Islamic attacker from Ali to David. Or even when they pledge allegiance to ISIS and scream Allah Akbar, they just say it's not Islamic because there's nothing less Islamic than ISIS. And, of course, there's nothing drier than water. But now, Google will not even let you, as of still this morning, this has been going on for a day. It was identified days ago, but it's been in the news for a day, and I checked it this morning. It was still that way. You search presidential candidate, stories up on Infowars.com with screenshots, and he's not even listed. It's Hillary, the Green Party, and candidate, and then the Libertarian candidate. Spoiler, Gary Johnson. Stories up on Infowars.com. Trump not listed in Google search for presidential candidates. When you scroll down, wait for it, there it is. Not listed. Now you go to Bing, boom, he's front and center. And it's got all the other past candidates. But there it is. And I'm not saying Bing's perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but you'd expect Donald Trump to be front and center. Presidential candidate. You try to search crooked Hillary. Can't get it. You see, these should all be top searches because they are the top searches. On Google, off and on the last few months, Hillary for prison or will Hillary go to prison has been the #1 search, but you can't find links without going 5-6 pages deep to the most popular relevant searches. Now, folks, if Google will do that, they'll do anything. And this is emblematic of they stole the primaries and the nomination from Bernie Sanders voters. Stole it. And told you in the news, yes, we met days before to decide who the winner was in places like California at a, quote, rich donor's house. But they still went ahead with the ceremonial election and then ignored it. And then just changed the numbers to what they wanted. Clinton email reveals that Hillary worked with Google CEOs to keep hashtag Benghazi video blocked. That's in the WikiLeaks emails. But see, you're not hearing about the 20,000 new WikiLeaks DNC emails and phone calls. You're just hearing, oh, Putin did it, he's so bad, or, oh, my gosh, it said they might want to work against Bernie. Oh, Hillary was never against Bernie. She stole it from him. So now we have in fact, we probably should play today Let's grab some of the voicemails and play these here on air. We're not going to talk about who got the emails because we really don't know. I think it's probably the Russians. Thank God. Somebody's fighting back against this criminal group that's hijacked our nation out of self-preservation. Are you fighting back? I mean, they're trying to get street riots, killing police going. We have a foreign globalist group overthrowing the nation, like in the Red Revolution in 1917, 1918. I mean, that's what this is. But it's a globalist operation, but using communist tactics. I mean, I cannot stress to anyone the grave danger we're in when they're stealing nominations and Google won't let you search Crooked Hillary and redirects you. And then we've got Hillary emails and DNC emails with Google, who they meet with for 5 hours a week, at least, at the White House. Some weeks they meet with Google up to 4 times. And I mean Google heads. They are in there wargaming and deciding what you can see and where you can go. Like we're living in Ceausescu's Romania or Kim Jong-un's North Korea. This is trillions of light years beyond anything that we've even seen go on in North Korea with the high-techness of it, and how it's just so over the top, so completely brazen. They're caught red-handed in thousands of scandals and rigging everything. And then they have another all-day hate fest, misinterpreting and misconstruing and misrepresenting and lying and spinning and obfuscating and dissembling Donald Trump. I got to tell you, though, if America lets Hillary Clinton steal the election, we deserve it. I mean, we have butchered 55 million babies, and we have let globalists do all these evil things in our name. And so guess what? What comes around goes around. You reap what you sow. The chickens are going to come home to roost, everybody. Because our men were too busy playing fantasy football. Our women were too busy acting like they're tarts while their kids are getting hooked on government shipped-in drugs. And believe me, I'm not on some high horse. I'm just here to tell you that we make Sodom and Gomorrah and corrupt, decadent, latter Rome look like very tame societies and cultures. And I'm not even talking about so much sex or drinking. I'm talking about not caring, not taking it personal when you're enslaved, not taking it personal when you're lied to, not taking it personal when you're overrun by tyranny. The good news is people are fighting back and taking action and waking up. The problem is globalists are organizing governments, corporations, and media to go after people that are trying to bail water out of the sinking ship, because the globalists want to sink civilization in some giant funeral pyre of humanity, and then they believe out of that transcendent phoenix will rise out with this new super being. I mean, talk about a lie of the devil. Even if you don't believe in an incarnate entity, the color out of space, fallen here. I mean, yeah, it all makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Yeah, everybody knows in their gut. And it's promising the elite, because this is what they're all into. I don't care if they're Chinese elite, Russian elite, U.S. elite, the globalist elite. This is what most of the elite are into. That they're going to become gods and transcendent and merge with machines, but that the world must fall first. And while they claim that they're doing all of this to save the planet, they're actually overriding it and killing it and then creating horrible, ugly, stinking monstrosities in its wake, purely for the sake of attacking all that is good. We've got a lot of news, a lot to cover. Stay with us. What happens in history when societies become more and more corrupt the establishment will become more and more oppressive.